Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Tower. In today's episode, I would like to do some more play testing with the project funding and Galaxy Compressor comparisons for tournament performance. So if we have a look at today's set of battle conditions, at least for me, the main difficulty comes from this ultimate weapon durations battle condition. At max level, it's going to reduce the duration of my chronofield, Golden Tower, Poison Swamp, and Black Hole by 10 seconds. The main issue, at least for me, is the reduction of chronofield, and that means that I no longer have permanent uptime on my chronofield. In addition, if we take into account that enemies move 20% faster and they are resistant to knockback, this is actually a very deadly set of battle conditions to have. When chronofield goes away, if there is not enough uptime on Black Hole, enemies are just going to fly and hit your tower. Even if your tower were to shoot on them, it's going to be resistant to knockback, which basically means that it's the same as armor in terms of battle conditions. If we add on to that, there is also Tank Ultimate and Boss Ultimate. Boss Ultimate is, basically these two battle conditions just means that we have to do a lot of damage to the enemies. So if we account for Tank and Boss Ultimate, project funding, or if we are able to make project funding work, it's going to be definitely the better choice compared to say the Galaxy Compressor. However, Galaxy Compressor helps to maintain the uptime on chronofield and Black Hole. So there is again going to be a pretty interesting trade-off to look at. Now, in order to deal with this set of battle conditions, if you recall from the previous video that I had on project funding and Galaxy Compressor testing, I obtained 1370 waves using Galaxy Compressor, but with project funding I only obtained 1170 waves. And the main reason for the death was because of the armored battle condition. When my Black Hole fell, I basically got pummeled by the enemies and I died. So my takeaway from that is that even though I had more damage with the project funding, I was unable to survive and make use of that added damage because I was being hit by the enemies. So how then should I deal with this set of battle conditions? Well, this is what I have done in today's set of playtesting. So I basically rewrote my Dimension Core. And if you have a comparison with the previous video, the main differences that I've put in is that I've now rolled in this extra 10 seconds of chronofield duration and a 4 seconds of Black Hole duration. The cost of that was that I've lost an ancestral row on Black Hole size, and I have lost an ancestral row on Smart Missile cooldowns. So clearly this is going to be a huge fall in my damage, because if you recall from the Galaxy Compressor testing, the bulk of my damage actually came from Smart Missiles. So having less Smart Missiles firing off is definitely going to affect my damage. However, because now I'm able to obtain permanent uptime with my chronofield, I should have a bit more crowd control for the fast battle condition. Now, if I were to pair that up with the Galaxy Compressor build, then this added 4 seconds of Black Hole duration should also give me permanent uptime on my Black Hole, because now I'm running a 36 seconds Black Hole, and at least from the Multiverse Nexus calculator that I fiddled around with, I should be able to obtain permanent Black Hole. So just give me a minute before I switch on to that website and we can have a look at what I'm talking about. So here I am in the website. It's the mvn.thetower.tools website. As you can see, I have disabled my Multiverse Nexus, disabled the Golden Tower, and disabled the Death Wave. So my black hole cooldown is at 50 seconds. I don't have any black hole cooldown stat. I'm using an Ancestral Galaxy compressor. I took off Wave Accelerator because I don't intend to run it in the tournament. And my black hole duration is at 32 seconds. And I have an Ancestral black hole duration stat. So if I include tournaments and ultimate weapon battle conditions, it's saying over here that I should have permanent uptime on my black hole. Okay, so we're back to my tower. So this is my plan for today's set of tournament battle conditions. In the first run, I'm again going to equip my death penalty. In one run, I'm going to try the Galaxy compressor build with the dimension core with the added black hole duration substat that I have. Now I should have permanent uptime on my black hole, which means that I don't have to worry about the fast enemies and the range enemies. So enemy speed is basically a non-affix for me. And the way that I don't have to worry about it is by setting my range down to 0. Okay, so if I keep my range at 0, I should have a permanent coverage on my black hole. In the second set of tests that I'm going to do, what I will do is I will switch out my Galaxy compressor for project funding. And now if I plug it in like this, I should have a lot more damage. I would also have permanent uptime on my chronofield with max heat. So that way, I think it would be an interesting comparison, because now I know that I'm going to have control in the form of having chronofield. That's not going to be complete control over the enemies, but my hope is that with the added damage from project funding, while the enemies are in black hole, I can target down the ranged and the fast enemies, and then I can focus on killing the bosses, the elites, and the tank enemies. If you recall from the previous video, killing the enemies was not an issue. The issue was that I was not able to kill them fast enough. So hopefully with this added set of control from chronofield, I should be able to get a better wave count. Now in terms of my predictions, I would suppose that because I've gimped out so much damage from my Galaxy compressor, I'm probably not going to see the same number of waves under Galaxy compressor. So I should expect my Galaxy compressor build to have less than 1370 waves. However, I should be able to obtain permanent uptime on my black hole, if my understanding of the Multiverse Nexus calculator is correct. And in terms of the project funding build, because I now have the added slow from the chronofield at a permanent uptime, then dealing with the range enemies would not be as scary. However, as an added layer of security, when I'm running with my project funding, I am probably going to set my range to maximum and put in the range cut. That way, I would have added time to react to the ranged enemies. So let's get into it and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so let us start with the Galaxy compressor version first. In this case, I actually don't want range because I want my black hole to cover the majority of my tower, so there's nothing else to put. I'll just put in critical coin here. You can see these are my enhancements that I'm running currently. Okay, and I would like to get an extra level into enemy level skip, but this is almost due, so I do need the coin for the next level. So I guess I'm going to have to do with something else, with slightly less enemy level skip. I think that should be fine. These are my upgrades. Nothing has changed from before. Oh, I got 400 levels into Defense Absolute just for the mission. Enemy level skip is at 450. attack level skip is at 400. And my ultimate weapons, these are the ultimate weapons that I'm running. So I've got 100 times less chain lightning damage because I had that random filler stat. My smart missile damage is the same, but cooldown is no longer at 14 seconds, it's now 20 seconds. So definitely I'm going to suffer quite a bit of damage reduction by using the Galaxy Compressor build. But on the upside, I have permanent uptime on Chrono Field, and my black hole should have permanent uptime as well. So we shall see how that goes. I just want to make sure that I've got 0 range before I start. Yes, so range is set to 0. Then I should be running 69.5 meters for range. Okay, my modules are set up. Oh, I need to change this to Galaxy Compressor. Okay, and there's still 15 hours, so hopefully by the time I get this out, you might have had chance to see it, and hopefully it might help you in your own tournament. But let's get into it and we'll see how it goes. So as usual, I'm going to put the first few levels into enemy skips, and I should change my target priority. So because this is the Galaxy Compressor version, if I'm going to be having full uptime on my black hole, then I think I don't need to worry about range and fast. So I'm going to bring tanks up, and I guess this would be my target priority. Yeah, boss, then elites, and then tanks. But we shall see how it goes. Hopefully my understanding of the Multiverse Nexus calculator is right, and we actually have permanent uptime on black hole. Let me get rid of this. Okay, and as we can see, enemy health level skip is maxed out. I will fast forward from here towards the end of the run, and hopefully black hole really does not drop. Okay, we are at wave 1000. I think my wall broke at wave 860, and I'm pretty sure it's not a permanent black hole. So as you see, my black hole has just gone down. What that means is that I have to change my target priority. So range has to go right on top, and I guess this would be okay. I still have permanent chrono field, so it should be safe to put fast at the bottom. But what I'm very curious is why the Multiverse Nexus calculator said that it would be permanent black hole when it actually isn't. I must have interpreted it wrongly. So if someone is able to clarify what I misunderstood from that would be amazing. Okay, second wind has popped. So demon mode should be coming up anytime soon now. There we go, demon mode is out. And from here on, it's going to be, this is the highest amount of damage that I have. I probably just have to wait until I die from here. Okay, nuke has just popped. So I presume I'm going to be dying anytime soon now. as predicted, it's not going to be 1370 waves. This time around I got 1260. Oh, and this is not going to be the end result, I'm very sure of that. So let's have a look at the final stats. So chain lightning damage, as you can tell, is fairly low. That's fine because I didn't really invest much in my chain lightning. Smart missile damage has also dropped significantly, and I presume the reason for this is because in the previous test that I had done, I had a lot more a lot more smart missile activations, but also there were a lot of tank enemies because I went to like wave 1370, and at some point I remember I was not able to kill all the tank enemies, so there was a lot of smart missile amplification going on. As you can see, that amplification is no longer happening just because there were not enough tank enemies hoarding around my tower. Alright, so that is the Galaxy Compressor version. Let's have a look at what happens if I were to try the other strategy, and that is the project funding one. So I include the project funding here, nothing else changes. The next change that I want to make is to max out my range. And the reason why I actually want a higher range is because your range increases faster than the range of the ranged enemies. So what that means is that if I'm running a higher range, the ranged enemy has to move in further into my tower range before they are able to shoot me. And this is extremely important because I'm definitely not having full uptime on my black hole under this setting. So when my black hole goes away, if there are any ranged enemies, I want to be able to kill them as quickly as possible because the black hole center is always in the inside of your tower range. So this will be the setup that I'm running for this particular version, and hopefully it does better. Otherwise I would have wasted my reroll shots. And as you can see there's always this one guy or one or two people that, you know, they are meant to get first place, not me. I have not found a tournament where I'm first place. Okay, so let me just make sure everything is correct. Tournament setup for my cards. Range is set up. Oh, I'm so tempted to finish this. It's okay. And what is this? Okay, let's claim this. So I guess we can go into the battle. Okay, in this particular setup, I actually want to bring ranged and fast up to the top, then bosses, then elites, then tanks. Yeah, I think this would be a good setup for this particular set of battle conditions. So as usual at the start, it's just leveling up the enemy health level skips, and then I presume by wave 280 or so, we are going to max this up. Oh, and yes, one thing I have to change is in terms of the orbs. So I don't want my orbs so far in, and thankfully I have the ranged, the orb sliders now, so I can actually target them further out from my tower. So I think this would be a good distance for me. And yeah, let's leave it at this. So you can see I no longer have permanent black hole, but that's fine because my black hole is no longer covering my entire tower. So that is why I really need a permanent uptime on Chronofuel, just to ensure that when the enemies come in, they are going to take some time to reach my tower. Okay everyone, so we are back at wave 1000 again. The main thing I've noticed in this project funding version is that I have not taken a hit just yet. It's going to happen very soon. And I really like the extra range from this project funding. It's making the bosses take a much longer time to hit me. And there we go. My Berserker has finally procced. Okay, and we'll fast forward now to when Demon Mode procs. Okay, we're at wave 1200, and you can notice that I'm actually taking hits from the bosses now. So I guess the damage is just insufficient. But that is okay, because damage we can always increase in future. So I'm just about to proc my Demon Mode soon. I think this will be where I proc Demon Mode. Oh, there was a Death Defy. So I'm really curious to see how my tournament performance would increase with Berserker Mastery. Right, I get this like extra 1000 times damage, which basically makes me invincible for a while. I'm not sure if that would actually be better than Ultimate Weapon Crit Mastery, but it's certainly more fun. Okay, and there we go, I've procced my Demon Mode. So this is about as high damage as I can dish out. I'm now at 1300 waves. I think the interesting thing for me to see is whether or not I can actually get this up past 1370. If I can, then I would consider this a success compared to the Galaxy Compressor build. One thing that I'm really liking about this build is that my chronofuel has not gone down completely. I did not intend to roll for the added black hole duration, so it just popped up, and that's why I kept it. And eventually that stat is going to be rolled away, so I can include that more damage down the line. But I would think that the added 10 seconds of chronofuel duration has, I guess it's safe to say, enabled me to use project funding as opposed to Galaxy Compressor. So there we go. I think if anyone's interested in using a Galaxy Compressor build, moving away from a Galaxy Compressor build to a project funding build, hopefully this video would give you some insights on how you might go about doing it. And of course, if anyone has tried other builds and they have worked well for you, please do not hesitate to let me know in the comments. I would be very appreciative of that. Okay, and I think all that's left to do is for me to die from here. That should happen very soon. And there we go. Oh, I forgot I got nuke. Okay. So, right, I guess in a couple of weeks, I might actually get this up to like 1600 or something. And oh, I said it and I just died. Okay, and somehow I ended up at rank 4 now. So probably this is going to be a very tough bracket. Not a good time to join, guys. So let's see. This guy, tier 18 2.3, tier 18 3000, tier 18 2.5. They are going to have a pissing contest with each other. So this guy, tier 18, tier 16, tier 16, tier 16, tier 18 142, tier 17 169, 16, 17, 16, 16, 16, 16, 15, 15, 15, 17, okay, so looking at all their ranks, I'm pretty sure I will end up in 4th place. Chill guy, there is no way that I Is there a way? No, I don't think so. I'm at tier 18 1785. I am pretty sure that even if I respec, there is no way that I'm going to beat this chill guy. And the reason for that is the damage that you require to dish out in tier 18 is extremely high. So just looking at wave count alone, I think is a very good indicator of your performance relative to the other person. So, you know, this guy has 700 more waves in tier 18 from me. There is no way that I'm going to catch up with them. This is going to be a pissing contest between the three of them to see who is going to be the top. But as you can see in Legends League also, there is going to be a very huge segmentation between players, right? So I presume for most of these guys in the 300-ish range, they probably haven't unlocked card masteries, or they have unlocked card masteries, but they are not currently developing their card masteries just yet. That is the right thing to do, because you're supposed to be focusing on getting Golden Tower up in order to sustain the economy for your card masteries. But once you get your Golden Tower up, so GT plus up to a respectable level where you're able to pull in like 1 queue a day or something, then that's when you should start with your card masteries, and you'll see a clear segmentation in the Legends League from people who are like in wave 300-ish and then they jump up suddenly to wave 700-ish. That is just due to card masteries. It is also for that reason, which is why I think respecking for a tournament is not very useful. Simply because you can respec as much as you want, but this guy from 395, okay, suppose he wants to move from the 5th or 6th place up to the 4th place, he has to increase his wave count by like 1000 waves. And if he does not have access to card masteries, or he cannot sustain card masteries, respecking, even if he were to dump all his lifetime coins into damage, is not going to get him there. If it does get him there, then you know, the respecking in to a particular build and out of a particular build is going to cost him 600 gems. At best, he is going to get 25 extra stones and 100 gems. I don't think it justifies the cost, but definitely for people in this region over here, where they are actually competing for top place, then yes, respecking will give you the added benefit of being able to you know, potentially overtake your opponent, right? So looking at Chill Guy is taking it very chill. His wave count is not increasing. If it still does not increase, suppose I did a respec, I might be able to overtake him, but then, you know, there's no difference to my final place. Okay, so hopefully that gives you guys some insight about how you might want to, I guess, use the module substats in your favor. I have not, in this particular reroll that I've done, I have not included stats that are, I would say, meta. I'm not including extra chain lightning chance, extra chain lightning quantity. I'm not reducing my smart missile cooldown, extra smart missile quantity, and so on. But it is what works for me. And I think that is the main takeaway from this video. It's about generating enough synergy in your own setup and using the tools that you have to generate that synergy to push for a higher wave count. And of course, eventually I would want to get rid of this black hole size and black hole duration, but you know, that's a problem for future me. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!